Good morning, motivation team. How y'all doing this morning? If you haven't done so already, thank the Lord that you woke up this morning. Go tell your family you love them. Go tell them good morning. And go ahead and invite me on the video. And I'll stop saying I forgot. My bad. I've been slacking. Put a smile on your face. If you ain't got no smile on your face, you tripping, bro. Put a smile on your face. Today is Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. I hope y'all ready for the weekend, because I know I am. I got another idea, I got another idea that I want to do. I'm going to go ahead and get it out there, because that's what God put on my mind, so I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. If God put it on your mind, go ahead and do it. Because ain't nobody promised tomorrow. Ain't nobody promised the next second. So whatever God put on your mind, make sure y'all get that out, for real. And I ain't got too much to say for the intro. Let's go ahead and get today started with the verse of the day. And I got Exodus chapter 15, verse 26. He said, if you listen carefully to the Lord, your God, and do what is right in his eyes, if you pay attention to his commands and keep all his decrees, I will not bring on you any of the diseases I brought on the Egyptians, for I am the Lord who heals you. Now, y'all let me know what y'all think about that. I'm finna go ahead and let y'all know what I think. So I had said God gave the Israelites a test, and that's what he also does with us. He gives us a test to see if our faith is with him. So that's why I always say it's you need to keep your circle small, or make sure if y'all got 30 people in y'all circle, make sure every 30 of y'all tight. Make sure everybody tight. Ain't no back door, ain't none of that. You know what I'm saying? And if you in your isolation stage, listen, because you never know when God's talking to you. God can be talking to you through the TV, because you don't want to miss your test. If you're going through a situation and that situation is meant to get you down to your lower self, that's when you got to realize, like, hold on, whoa, I think this is a test. Go on ahead, treat it as a test, get it over with, and watch how God heal you. Watch how God bless you, because you listened. You had obedience. You know what I'm saying? So with that, hey, that's all I had to say about that right there. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Let's go ahead and get right to the book. The Lord said to Moses, if anyone sins and is unfaithful to the Lord by deceiving a neighbor about something entrusted to them, or left in their care, or about something stolen, or if they cheat their neighbor, or if they find lost property and lie about it, or if they swear falsely about any such sin that people may commit, when they sin in any of these ways, they realize their guilt. They must return what they have stolen or taken by extortion, or what was entrusted to them, or the lost property they found, or whatever it was they swore falsely about. They must take restitution in due, add a fifth of the value to it, and give it all to the owner on the day they present their guilt offering. And as a penalty, they must bring to the priest, that is to the Lord, their guilt offering, a ram from the flock, one without defect and of the proper value. Alright, so if a person was found guilty of fraud or theft, they had to make restitution to the victim of the fraud. So basically they had to pay them back. So before they make sacrifice, they had to cover their guilt with God. In this way, the priest will make atonement for them before the Lord, and they will be forgiven for any of the things they did that made them guilty. Burnt offering. The burnt offering is to remain on the altar hurt throughout the night till morning, and the fire must be kept burning on the altar. The priest shall then put on his linen clothes with linen undergarments next to his body, and shall remove the ashes of the burnt offering that the fire has consumed on the altar, and place them beside the altar. Then he is to take off these clothes and put on others, and carry the ashes outside the camp to a place that is ceremonially clean. The fire on the altar must be kept burning. It must not go out. Every morning the priest is to add firewood and arrange the burnt offering on the fire, and burn the fat of the fellowship offerings on it. The fire must be kept burning on the altar continuously. It must not go out. So the idea of the burnt offering was to burn that old self, that past. Burn all that away in order to commit yourself again to God. I believe I said that yesterday. So the idea of the burnt offering is us giving ourselves to God. Coming to God is not a quick process. Even though we think it is, the burnt offering endured the heat. These are the regulations for the grain offering. Aaron's sons are to bring it before the Lord in front of the altar. The priest is to take a handful of the finest flour and some olive oil, together with all the incense on the grain offering, and burn the memorial portion on the altar, as an aroma pleasing to the Lord. Aaron and his sons shall eat the rest of it, but is to be eaten without yeast in the sanctuary area. They are to eat in the courtyard of the tent of meeting. It must not be baked with yeast. I have given it as their share of the food offerings presented to me, like the sin offering and the guilt offering. It is most holy. Any male descendant of Aaron may eat it. For all generations to come, it is his perpetual share of the food offerings presented to the Lord. Whatever touches them will become holy. The Lord also said to Moses, this is the offering Aaron and his sons are to bring to the Lord on the day he is anointed. A tenth of an ephah of the finest flour as a regular grain offering, half of it in the morning and half in the evening. It must be prepared with oil on a griddle. Bring it well mixed, and present the grain offering broken in pieces as an aroma pleasing to the Lord. The son who is to succeed him as an anointed priest shall prepare it. It is the Lord's perpetual share, and is to be burned completely. Every grain offering of the priest shall be burned completely. It must not be eaten. So I'm going to reread that last one. Every grain offering of a priest shall be burned completely. It must not be eaten. So we just heard that a grain offering was made with Aaron's and his sons. They ate that one. But the one I just read, they ain't eat that one. They made it, offered it to the Lord, and they burned it. The Lord said to Moses, say to Aaron and his sons, these are the regulations for the sin offering. The sin offering is to be slaughtered before the Lord in the place the burnt offering is slaughtered. It is most holy. The priest who offers it shall eat it. It is to be eaten in the sanctuary area, in the courtyard of the tent of meeting. Whatever touches any of the flesh will become holy. And if any of the ketchup is spattered on a garment, you must wash it in the sanctuary area. The clay pot the meat is cooked in must be broken. But if it is cooked in a bronze pot, the pot is to be scoured and rinsed with water. Any male in a priest's family may eat it. It is most holy. But any sin offering whose ketchup is brought into the tent of meeting to make atonement in the holy place must not be eaten. It must be burned up. So the clay pot, they can use it to beat up the meat, to cut it up, cook it or whatever, but they had to throw it out. The bronze pot, since it was made out of metal, they could use it, rinse it out, wash it, it'll be good. When sin soaks into something, it must be destroyed because there is no way to clean it. But metal had been in the fire being judged, and it could be cleaned. And I did accidentally skip chapter 7, and I went to chapter 8 on my notes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and give y'all chapter 8, and I'm going to do chapter 7 tomorrow. I'm going to do chapter 7, and I'm going to go to chapter 9. So I'm going to go ahead and read chapter 8 to y'all. So we're on chapter 8 right now. The Lord said to Moses, bring Aaron and his sons, their garments, the anointing oil, the bull for the sin offering, the 2 rams, and the baskets containing bread made without yeast, and gather the entire assembly at the entrance to the tent of meeting. Moses did as the Lord commanded him, and the assembly gathered at the entrance to the tent of meeting. Moses said to the assembly, this is what the Lord has commanded me to be done. Then Moses brought Aaron and his sons forward and washed them with water. So the reason they didn't wash themselves is because that's how priestly ministries began. And it was a humbling experience because it was done publicly at the door of the tabernacle. We can't be cleansed from our sin without being humble first. So after they were clean, they had to get dressed in a tunic, which was a shirt from fine linen, a sash tied around his midsection, a robe, and an ephod that looked somewhat like an apron. And they had to put a turban on their head. Then Moses took the anointing oil and anointed the tabernacle and everything in it, and so consecrated them. He sprinkled some of the oil on the altar 7 times, anointing the altar and all its utensils and the basin with its stand to consecrate them. He poured some of the anointing oil on Aaron's head and anointed him to consecrate him. Then he brought Aaron's sons forward, put tunics on them, tied sashes around them, and fastened caps on them, as the Lord commanded Moses. They did put oil on non-living things as well, because it showed that they were a part for the service of the Lord. To consecrate meant that whatever or whoever the oil was put onto, it was set apart for God's service. So they then brought a bull for a sin offering. So for my vegans, it's time to get strong. It's time to get that stomach strong. Go ahead and drink some orange juice to get your immune system up. But I ain't gonna make it too bad. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want to read it for yourself, it's gonna get worse. But hey, it's a learning experience. Learn the word. So they then brought a bull for a sin offering, and a ram for a burnt offering, and another ram for ordination. After the altar was sanctified with the ketchup of the sin offering, the best of the animal was burned in front of the Lord. The sin offering was, we have failed to give our best to God. This animal now gives its best to atone or pay for our failure. And we decide to live now, giving our best, even as this animal which dies in our place. This demonstration of total commitment to the Lord only came after cleansing, anointing, and atonement. Moses also brought Aaron's son forward and put some of the ketchup on the lobes of their right ears, on the thumbs of their right hands, and on the big toes of their right feet. So after the sin and the burnt offering, which was the atonement for sin, now they have to lay their hands on the head of the second ram. So the priests were stained with the ketchup of sacrifice. They should hear different, work different, and walk different because they had the ketchup on their ears, their thumb, and their feet. And our source tells us that God even, you know what I'm saying? God felt like the right side was more superior, with more strength and skill. God wanted their best to be dedicated to him. So all my right-handed people out there, you know what I'm saying? I'm right-handed myself. That's a little flex for us right there. So y'all go ahead, clap it up for y'all self, you know what I'm saying? Pat yourself on the back with your right hand. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? To my left-handed folks, you know what I'm saying? You still got faith. You know what I'm saying? Still have faith. You know what I'm saying? I know some strong left-handed people out there because, you know what I'm saying, James Harden, De'Aaron Fox, you know what I'm saying? There's some left-handed beats, Michael Vick, So, it's some strong left-handed folks out there now. So don't get down. Don't let yourself get down now. You know what I'm saying? Keep your head up. You're just not right-handed though. They also used their second ram as a wave offering. And with the portions they took from their ram, portions, I mean, they had put it with some bread, no yeast, one thick and thin loaf, mixed with some olive oil, and gave it to Aaron's son to wave before the Lord, to present it. And after the offering, they burned it. Then Moses took some of the anointing oil and some of the blood. Then Moses took some of the anointing oil and some of the ketchup from the altar and sprinkled them on Aaron and his garments, and on his sons and their garments. Moses then said to Aaron and his sons, cook the meat at the entrance to the tent of meeting, and eat it there with the bread from the basket of ordination offerings as I was commanded. Aaron and his sons are to eat it, then burn up the rest of the meat and the bread. Do not leave the entrance to the tent of meeting for 7 days until the days of your ordination are completed. For your ordination will last 7 days. What has been done today was commanded by the Lord to make atonement for you. You must stay at the entrance to the tent of meeting day and night for 7 days and do what the Lord requires, so you will not die, for that is what I have been commanded. So Aaron and his sons did everything the Lord commanded through Moses. God didn't want to eat with them over stale food. Even if it was the same meal, God wanted the meal to be fresh. So all my youngins out there, tell your parents, even God didn't like leftovers. He wanted the food to be fresh. He wanted our relationship to be fresh too. You know what I'm saying? So go on, tell your parents, hey, I ain't eating leftovers. You know what I'm saying? And depending on what kind of house you grow up in, because I know me, I probably wouldn't get away with it. But I know some people can get away with it nowadays. But say it as your own reason. That's all I'm gonna say. 7 days was a number of perfection among the Hebrews. For them days, they ate the ram, the bread of consecration, which took time, reflection, and constant awareness. And that's all for today. If y'all enjoyed it, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. Everything gonna be better, bro. You know what I'm saying? Everything gonna get better. Just leave everything in God's hand. Keep on praying. Keep counting your blessings. Everything gonna be straight. And that's all for today. I'm out.